Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Sean here, and this episode is going to be about the why. Let's get into all the details and let's go for it. Last time I gave you a big overview of everything of what the channel was about and what it was for. So this time I figured I would actually go into a little more detail about why I'm going, what led up to it, what caused me to feel this way once I got there, and yeah, just the overall, the more detailed reason of why I've decided to make the move over to the Philippines. So I was divorced like 8 years ago, and after I was divorced, I spent all my time in a rebuild. As most guys here in the States, after a divorce, it's like a huge reset. And you have to start over and get on the grind, and just you're pretty much lost after that because you don't know what to do. You spend all these years with a whole family and a whole life, and then all of a sudden that's over for one reason or another, and now you just have to do everything all by yourself. And what I did, like most of us do, is I spent all my time just working. And I put myself in a situation to where I was working 16, 17 hours a day. It was like I was working outside, and as soon as I got done, I would come home, and then I'd be working at home. And it was just, that's all I did for years. And before I know it, years had elapsed, and I was just caught in this bubble of work, and I wasn't interacting with people. I wasn't doing anything. I was just stuck all by myself, just doing what you're supposed to do, chasing the American dream, chasing the money, chasing the cars, chasing the lifestyle. And it was always like, once I get it, once I get this, then I'll be happy. Once I get that, I'll be happy. As soon as you spend your whole life going through, when I have that car, the car that I always wanted, when I have that house, when I have those things, when I have, whatever. And what I found was, I got all those things. I got all those things that I wanted. I got the car that I always thought I wanted. I have a nice house. I have all the things that I thought I wanted. And then what I realized is that I was just as unhappy having all those things as before having those things. So clearly that wasn't it. And then once my subconscious started to realize that that was what was going on, it caused me to spiral. It caused me to go down into this hole of just being by myself. I talk to a lot of people about this kind of stuff because I'm real big into mental health for men. I think it's something that's been sorely lacking for a really long time. And I tell my guys all the time, if you're not okay, say something. There was a long time where after my divorce, I was one of those people that it deeply affected me, right? It wasn't something terrible event that took place. It was just two people that were together for a long time, and it just stopped working. But it deeply affected me. It deeply affected my mind and how I was thinking. And I wish that somebody had come to me and said, are you okay? Right? So I put that message off to my guys all the time. And because of that, I hear what they have to say about a lot of things. And we're trained to look for something, to buy those things, to have these things, to do this thing. And then all of a sudden we'll be okay. And it just didn't work for me. So as I said before in the last video, I was spending all this time sitting at my computer. And then as you do, you get caught in your rabbit holes and you start looking around and you start seeing what's actually what's out there, right? Because you're looking for something and you're trying to fill this void. And needless to say, we'll go into all that before how I wound up getting over to the Philippines. We'll talk about that another time. But for right now, needless to say, a few creators here on YouTube, I started watching a bunch of videos from creators here on YouTube about the Philippines. And it just seemed like a really interesting place. And of course, I was like a lot of guys, and it was like, oh, let's go because there's a lot of chicks there, and there's a lot of this there, and there's a lot of women and this and that, and you're sick of the role that's going on here. People can call me a passport bro if they want. They can say all kinds of stuff. And that doesn't matter to me any, but there's a lot of negative connotations that's being used currently because guys just aren't happy here. But I think a lot of people put it off into the wrong mindset, and they think that it's about the women here, or it's ever this. I think a lot of guys think that it's about the women here, and it's not. It's about the culture here is the problem. And the culture here is, in my opinion, it's broken. So fast forward, I wind up going over into the Philippines, and then all of a sudden it's like you get this bright light shined in your face of what really is wrong. It's the fact of how we've basically destroyed the family structure here. People like to confuse that with family values or with religion or whatever, and it's not about that. It's actually about our culture, and we've ruined the structure of a family. And because of that, there's nothing grounding anybody together. That's why we can go into a lot of things, which I will at a later time. I'll go more into my particular views on things, but just know that my message is coming from a point that it's for everybody. And I just can't imagine that I'm the only one that feels the way I do. There's like a lot of men that I've spoken to also feel the way I do. They just don't necessarily have the words for it, or maybe they haven't thought it through, maybe as well as I do. But I digress. Getting over to the Philippines, you go over there and all of a sudden you see real family structure, but you see it on a huge scale. We all have that one friend that has a really great family structure and a family culture that hasn't been demolished. But en masse here, we take our children, it's like you turn 18, you're good, and then we kind of just push our kids out, and it's like a pass or fail. They just either succeed or they become that child that's a failure. While when you go over there, you see that like all of a sudden everybody can always just go home. And it became like this, and I'll be the first one to say that I was also like this, but now I see how destructive that was, right? So maybe in some small way, I'm trying to undo some of the training, not only in my own head, but I'm also trying to undo the training in my boys' head at the same time. Hence why I want to take my boys over there with me. I want them to see something different than this, that there's something other than just chasing money and the cars and the things, because none of those things will ever fill the void, right? They just never will. And as long as you're chasing it, you're just always going to continue to chase it. And it's broken. And when you go over there, you see like whole families that are actually working together as family units. And once again, it's not that everything's perfect there and everything is great and there's no problems. I'll also go into that. There's plenty of inherent problems over there. That's not the problem, that's not the situation. But the one thing is one advantage that we have is because of the exchange in money, you have an ability to be over there and it be a game changer as far as what you're capable of doing. And the amount of time, like I can go there with my boys and all of a sudden I don't have to chase everything. I have actual time where I can slow down and help instill these values in my boys and help try to change and shift the culture that I myself have been so egregiously a part of all of these years. And don't get me wrong, it's not just all that. There are plenty of really, really cool things about it too. Just look up a place like Palawan. You want to see something fun? I'm gonna put it up on the screen, Palawan, so you can get the spelling. And then believe me when I tell you, just look that up and look at the images for that place. And I mean, like, it's just utterly amazing, but you can go there for pennies on the dollar, which is super cool. As far as also for guys out there, I mean, meeting a girl over there is far different than meeting girls here. And it's just because their cultural differences they don't view things the same way we do. That is very convenient for a lot of us that go over there. So there is that piece of it, but I just want to be the one to stand here and go, that is not the only reason to go there. That is one reason, but that's not the only reason. There's a lot of other things that can be gained from over there. Yeah, there's just a lot of fun that can be had when you're over there, but there's also a lot of that you can gain from people that, quote unquote, if you were to gauge what they have compared to what we have, we as Americans would be like, they have nothing. I would argue that they have far more than we do. And people could say that's because they're a third world country or because of poverty or whatever. But I think that once you reach a certain level and you see that there's just no avenue here that can fulfill the needs that we have anymore, I think that you'll finally see that there's something more. I think that going over there, you will see that there's a lot more to here or to there. There's a lot more to there. I think when you go over there, you'll finally see there's more to it than just what they actually physically have, what the items it is that they have. You'll see that there's a lot more to it that they culturally can add to how we think here. And I think in that aspect, they're the wealthy ones while we're poor. Everybody likes to talk about how we're the freest country, we're the best country, and that's only comes from people who have never been anywhere. You go to a million other places and they have just as much freedom as we do. But then we're training ourselves, training our children, training everybody to just consume. But it all becomes hollow. Food doesn't have any taste when you're by yourself. And I know that a lot of guys right now feel by themselves. They feel alone. And I think that's the reason why things are going the way they're going, politically, socially, is because we're just busy trying to chase that particular feeling. So I think that when you go over there, you wind up seeing that there's more to it than just what you do have and what you don't have. I think that you'll finally see that there's something culturally that they can offer to us. And there's got to be some middle ground between our total consumption and maybe that they don't have what we have, but there's some middle ground. And for me, I found that peace over there. I found the way that the grind stops, that you can actually take time to live and to just get your mental together. And my hope is that when I go there, that I can do that, I can slow down and I can start working on me as well as working with my boys to help them not go the same path that I did. And I realize this is not for these reasonings or those reasonings is not for everyone. But I do believe that us feeling as men, feeling alone and separated is epidemic here in the United States. I believe it's why like I said, why the things are happening, why political, social, why the things that we're going through, the conflicts we're going through right now are just they're the symptoms of the overarching problem. And I believe the problem is our culture, right? And to make it all the way back full circle, that is why I'm going over there, is that I finally got to see a place that just blew me away. Like I said in my last video, I've been all over the world. I've never been to any place where I was like, man, this is where I'm supposed to be. And I mean, the weather is great to a point because it is hot. Don't get me wrong, it is ridiculously hot over there. And it does rain a lot. Like I said, there are plenty of problems that we can talk about on a different video, but just know that overall for guys like me, and I think most men here, the idea of being able to slow down, being able to just be for a little bit is a huge, huge thing. And that is why I'm going to the Philippines. That's what I'm going to be doing when I get there. First and foremost is working on fixing the broken parts of my cultural errors, I guess we'll call it, like cultural mistakes that I have contributed to, am also a part of. And I think that going over there will really fix a lot of this. And like I said, also that maybe I can make it so my sons don't ever get the part of this. I just don't think that here we're not designed, and it's frowned upon to slow down. And I think that it's a really great thing. And I think it's something that a lot of men here really need and are really missing in their life. And don't get me wrong, the women are fantastic over there. You're not gonna go from, I heard another YouTuber say, if you're a 6 here or a 5 here, you're not gonna go there and be an 8. But if you're a 6 here, if you're a 5 here, you definitely would be a 7.5 there. So keep your expectations right. And well, like I said, I'll go more into my actual experiences over there later. But for right now, just know that it is a great place. There's a lot of fun to be had. I will talk about the different places that I've been, and I'll talk about the different types of environments that are over there at a later time. I think the next video that we're going to have, I'm actually going to be talking about like some of the challenges that I'm having actually working out how to actually get there as far as like shutting things down here and all that jazz. So I think that's about it for this one. And you know, like I said, make sure you like and subscribe if you like my content. I know it's a little choppy still. It's a little I'm still working on how this all goes down, but I just want to share my things in my head with whoever wants to listen, I guess. So I guess until next time, it's Sean, and I'm all set, and I'll see you later.